Hello, ladies. This is Lisa Davis. I am one of the members of the leadership team for Team Pleasure Seekers with Pure Romance. We hope that you are enjoying these onboarding training videos and that you're getting a lot of information out of them that you will use to get your business off to a great start. This particular video the topic is business management. I want to tell you first why this topic is so important for your business. A lot of ladies will get into this business thinking only about the fun that they're going to have at their parties. But this business, while it is fun, it has a business component to it, and it's very important that you pay attention to that. It's really the only way for you to know how much money that you're making and to know how valuable your business is. If you're not paying attention to the business part, it's very easy for women to get frustrated because they're not seeing their profits. They're not really sure this business has benefited them in any way. So we don't want you to get into that trap. So we want you to start off with managing your business well right from the gate. So one of the first things I want to talk about is just organization. Okay, there are a couple of things that you want to make sure stay organized. One is your paperwork and your office files. The other is your inventory. Well, let's talk paperwork first. If you don't have a dedicated space in your house for your office, that's fine. You don't need it. What you'll want to do is get like a file box, some hanging file folders, and then those the smaller file folders to keep everything organized so that you can get to it at a moment's notice and you don't have to rifle through a lot of paperwork. That's going to be particularly important when it comes to the end of the year and you're preparing to get your taxes done. Now, this particular video, we're not going to talk in depth about taxes, but that is when organization really pays off, because you'll have everything there at your fingertips and ready to go. Also with organization is inventory. Okay, you definitely want to be carrying inventory to your parties. We've already discussed in other videos how important that is for increasing sales and getting people to buy more at your parties. So when you arrive with your inventory, though, you don't want to look like, Fred Sanford pulling up with a big old truck with a bunch of stuff in the back. Okay, you want to have something to organize your inventory. So you can use the 31 totes. A lot of ladies use that. You could also use those plastic totes that you get at maybe Target or Walmart or wherever. Some ladies will also use rolling tool bags or toolboxes, sorry. And the thing about the rolling tool bags is that I'll caution you a little bit. One, they can get very heavy. So you want to make sure that that toolbox is not heavy when it's empty. Because if it is heavy when it's empty, then when you put your product in there, it's going to get even heavier. And that's going to be a big strain on your back and legs if you're lifting that in and out of your car on a regular basis. So make sure it's not too cumbersome and it's something that you can handle. Also, another word of caution about anything that rolls. Okay, if you live in an area that is prone to snow, rain, nasty weather in the wintertime, you want to make sure that you keep a towel with you so that before you roll those wheels across your hostess's carpet or her hardwood floors, you have made sure that there's no mud, snow, slush underneath the wheels of your cases, because you don't want to track that into her house. That would be very bad for your business. So just make sure that you're paying attention to that. And whatever you get, make sure that you can organize it internally, meaning inside a big tote. You'll want to put some smaller boxes. The boxes that our products come in from corporate are awesome for this. I just cut the tops off and just use the boxes to help the product stand up. And you put those inside of your totes or into your bags. And then you can see very clearly where your body is, where your coochie is, where your toys are. And at a glance, you can just look down into the bag and grab what the customer needs in order to fill her order. It looks very professional to be done that way, as opposed to kind of rifling through everything to try to find what she just ordered. Okay, now let's talk a little bit more about inventory, because this is a very key point in having a good business. You'll need to know how much inventory you want to have at any given time. Here is the rule of thumb that we give to everybody. You want to have 1.5%, yes, 1.5 times, your retail average, your party retail average. So if you're very new and you haven't yet established what your retail average is per party, use the industry standard or the company standard, which is $500. So if your party average is $500, we're going with the industry standard, then you would want to have 750 in inventory in your stash. Okay, if your party average is higher or lower, just make the adjustment accordingly. Okay, keeping that much inventory will put you in a good position to be able to fill orders at the party. It'll save you on shipping, and it'll also give you greater customer satisfaction, because the customers love to receive their stuff the night of the party, and you're going to love to have them get that, because they're going to remember that party as the night that they got all their stuff and they're so excited. Okay, now keeping that inventory up, keeping it replenished and maintained does take a little bit of finesse. Okay, we're going to talk about the concept of smart ordering. Okay, first of all, when you can, put a couple of 2 or 3 parties together before placing an order. Okay, so what it means by that is, if you did a party tonight, let's say you did a party today, and you had excuse me, everything for that party with the exception of one product. Okay, you have a party tomorrow and you have everything for that party with the exception of 1 or 2 products. So now you're up to 3 products that you have to get to customers. You want to put those parties together, do one order. That one order should purchase what you need for open orders, also purchase what you need to replenish. Okay, so that you customers can get their orders on time, but also that you get your inventory back up to the 1.5 times your party average. Okay, now let's say you had those 2 parties, and maybe you don't want to order Saturday. You want to see if you can wait till next week to roll it into another party, because you still got enough inventory left to do another party, and you can get more bang for your buck by rolling 3 parties together. What you would do then is a trade. Okay, I want to talk to you a little bit about trading and why you would trade versus placing an order. You would trade if you have just a few things to order. You would also trade if something that is on back order that you didn't know about before you left for your party. That does happen. You're always advised to check the COO before you leave for a party, to check on the back orders. But every once in a while, it'll be there when you left for the party, and by the time you get home, it's on back order. So that does happen, and you can try to trade for that. Okay, you will trade to save yourself from paying shipping on a whole order, when really all you needed was a few things. Okay, a couple of rules to trade. 1, you trade at the retail value. It does not matter how much the other person paid for it, or how much you sold it for. If the retail value on a thing of coochie is $20, that is the trade value. So you would, if you needed a tube of coochie, you would trade that person another $20 item of their choosing. Okay, always trade on retail value. Do not try to get into what did they pay for, was it on sale, that kind of stuff. Just trade on retail value. Save yourself a lot of trouble. Okay, please, when you are trading, make sure that you are recording trades on both ends. If you were the person who gave the product or you received the product, doesn't matter. Make sure that you are keeping a record of that, so that you get your product back that you traded, and also that you pay them back in a timely manner if you didn't do an immediate trade. Because sometimes you don't have what they want in trade, and they'll ask you to, hey, just put another coochie on your next order and I'll get it back then. You want to make sure you honor those trades, though, because people should not have to call and chase you down for the product that they traded with you. All right, so keep your trading very professional. Watching for sales. Pure Romance is great at giving us awesome sales for the weekend so that we can get more profit out of our parties, and that's awesome. So watch the sales, make sure you're paying attention to if it's buy up a level, that you're going to get some extra percent off. If it is maybe getting some free product, they do that sometimes. Make sure you know the sale and how it's going to help you. And if that's a sale that you want to go with, because they change the sales pretty much every day. 6-pack ordering. So what you'll want to do is get a 6-pack buddy. What this will help you do is to have some variety in your inventory. So let's say you buy a 6-pack of Coochie in Love Story, but you also need to have a couple in, say, Original, because your customers seem to like that scent, or Sweet Fantasy, or what have you. What you'll do is you'll call up a trade buddy and say, hey, I'm going to buy a 6-pack of Coochie Love Story. Are you buying any 6-packs? Would you buy Sweet Fantasy, and we'll trade 3 for 3. So now you both have 3 Love Story and 3 Sweet Fantasy. And what that does is it gives you some variety in what you can offer to your customers. Okay, so think about getting yourself a really good 6-pack buddy, and you'll make an alliance on that. Both of you will win. So with your inventory, it's just important to keep it organized. Make sure you are replenishing. Make sure you're not taking stuff out of your inventory without accounting for it and replenishing it. You don't want to steal from your own store. Okay, make sure that you are ordering and putting together smart orders. I highly recommend when you do your first maybe couple of orders that you talk with your sponsor or another member of Team Pleasure Seekers, just to make sure that you're talking it through and making really good decisions about what you buy and when you buy it. Okay, now let's get into some financial stuff. This is another potential pitfall. A lot of times women will mismanage the financial piece, and it ends up impacting how they feel about their business, and they start to feel like, hey, I'm not really making any money with this at all. And it's not that they're not making money, they're just not managing it well. Okay, so manage your financial piece. The first thing, and I want you to hear me say this clearly, when you leave a party and you have money in your Square account or cash in hand, please remember that that money is not yours until you have gone home, done the profit sheet, and you know what expenses you need to take out of that in order to know what your take-home profit is. Your take-home profit is yours and yours to do with what you like. But what you don't want to do is get into the habit of leaving a party, going straight to Walmart or Target or wherever you like to shop, and start spending money that doesn't technically belong to you yet. A lot of consultants have gotten into trouble with doing that and then not having enough money to pay for the inventory that's needed for open orders or to replenish. And then they end up in pretty hot water. Okay, so you want to make sure you do a profit sheet for every single party, and make sure that you are very precise in what you are taking in profit, what you're going to reinvest into your business, and what your expenses are. Okay, whatever you do, you want to pay yourself. This is another thing that sometimes I hear women say, is like, oh no, I haven't taken a profit in a long time. I didn't pay myself because I wanted to do this or that. Now, if you have a goal in mind, like you're trying to get an incentive trip, so you're increasing your sales or something like that, that's fine. But don't make it a habit of not paying yourself your profit, because again, you will start to resent your business and you won't be feeling good about making any money, and it'll start to wear on you. Okay, so you want to make sure that you're paying yourself. You can pay yourself per party if you'd like, or you can pay yourself every couple of weeks or monthly. People, it's totally up to you and how often you feel like you need to take profit out of your business, but make sure that you are paying yourself. You also want to make sure that you have a really good operating budget. You want to plan for some of your expenses so that they don't sneak up on you and surprise you. The ones that are most popular and most likely to have an impact is training, paying to go for training, marketing and your PR gear, your business cards, personalized pins, if you get into doing those, all those type of marketing things, office supplies, business supplies. Okay, so make sure that you have in a working budget some money set aside for those. Okay, now I mentioned training just a moment ago, and I want to just touch on that a little bit and talk about how impactful that is to a business. I want you to think of yourself as a professional, because you are. Okay, in every profession, there is what is called continuous education. Teachers, nurses, plumbers, electricians, salesmen, they all go to training seminars to teach them what is on the cutting edge in their industry. Okay, nurses need to know what's the latest thing in medical care, so that they can stay on top of their game and be the best nurse that they can be. Same with plumbers or electricians or what have you. With Pure Romance consultants, it's the same thing. Every time you go to a Pure Romance training, you are going to come away from there with something that is going to be a positive impact on your business. So you want to make sure that you make training a priority as a businesswoman. You always want to be paying attention to your education and making sure that you're in the top of your field. Okay, so training does come with an expense, so make sure that you plan for it. Now there's also a lot of free training too, so pay attention to everything that's on the COO. When the bus tour comes around, those aren't necessarily free, but they're something like $5 to $10, which is very, very little, and so worth it. So make sure that you're paying attention to all the training that's available to you and you're making the most of it. Okay, now before I finish the video, I want to give you some additional training videos to reference on the COO. There are two of them that I thought were really good. One is in the training series. So if you look in the video section on the COO and look up training series, Bank on It by Beth Martin, that's a really good one. It tells you how to manage your money. Also, Show Me the Money by Andrea Holmes. I think it still says Holmes. Her married name now is Gilbert, but I believe when the video was recorded, it's listed under Andrea Holmes. But look for both names when you go out there. That one's a really good one about seeing how you make money. Definitely view those videos when you have time. Now for this video, I want to make sure that you have heard and understood the things that I've discussed. So here's what I would like for you to do. When you have your first party and you have completed your profit sheet, I want you to upload and show us a picture of your party profit sheet from your very first party, and make sure you put in the caption, my first party profit sheet from my onboarding video homework. Okay, I thank you very much, and I wish you the very best with your Pure Romance business.